Because I complain. I'm like, "Look, where did he come from? Like, I didn't ask for marriage. I didn't ask for these kids. I didn't ask for
You
none
ain't
of
asked
this.
for nothing. You ain't asked for Food Network.
No,
you
I
ain't
didn't ask for
nothing.
none of this. But it just
Yeah.
comes. And she said, because I can't sit still. But she says, in a relationship, one person is meant to be on the ground while the other person is flying. And sometimes he has to reel you back down to the ground, to reality. I mean, now we're getting to the point where you just have to be cognizant that people are these kids are watching you. And I always want to just make sure that I'm creating this foundation that I didn't have. I mean, I grew up with a single mom.
What we do.
Girl, you's a boss mom. Baby girl, you so perfect. Girl, you's a boss mom. Making everything worth it. Girl, you's a boss mom. Stand on all of your business. And when it come to investments, and baby girl, you the realest. Girl, you's a boss mom. Baby girl, you so perfect. Girl, you's a boss mom. Making everything worth it. Girl, you's a boss mom. Stand on all of your business. And when it come to investments, and baby girl, you the realest.
What's up, y'all? We are back with another episode of the Boss Mom Huddle, and I am your girl, Tammy Capri. And yes, you may see something looks a little bit different from the other episodes. We are testing out different studios, so I hope you like this one because I'm kind of feeling this one. But today's guest we have on the podcast with us today, she got some good food, y'all. I was looking on her Instagram, seeing everything that she's cooking up, seeing all her desserts, and I got excited. Thought she was going to bring some food here today because you know I like to eat. But everybody, please help me welcome my next guest, Miss Bryoni of Bryoni Catering. Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
Look, she's so easygoing, y'all. She just came in. I'm like, you okay? She said, yep, I'm fine. You like how the mic look? I mean, the camera looks. She said, oh, everything is good. Like, she's just so easygoing. I love it. I love your spirit, love your energy, love your page. And we did get a chance to talk before you came on to the show, and I just loved who you are. So I was like, yeah, I got to bring her.
Yeah,
So,
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
thank you for being here. All right, so just tell a little bit of the audience who you are and what you do.
So my name's Bryoni Prentice. I am born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. My husband's job moves us around quite a bit, and so I have been in Atlanta less than a year. But literally, I'm a chef, a private chef. I travel, and I decorate cookies. I teach cookie decorating classes. But everywhere I move, I literally start this business over every single time. So this is probably the fourth place that I've started my catering business.
So when you say you started over every single time, meaning
building
what?
a clientele, figuring out who I'm about to be making cookies for, just finding networking and building a new community of people to cook for.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed where, you know, people in New Orleans, people in Dallas, where two places I've lived previously, they still fly me out to cook.
Oh.
But I really need to be meeting
to find
people in
your
Atlanta.
yeah. So why do you feel as though you gotta, building your clientele for one, yes, but if they're gonna fly you out and if they're doing, you know, still booking you there, or are you shipping cookies too? Like, do you have like where they can order and you can ship them out nationwide?
I'm shipping cookies, but the flying out is only for events. It's not a every month thing.
Got you.
So it comes and goes. You know, when they need me, if I'm available, I go.
Got you. So what are some? Because I can imagine that being, you know, stressful just a little bit trying to start over. I mean, because I'm new to Atlanta too, and I felt like not had to start over because I still rely on, you know, my audience from that kind of follow me here, but we are in different industries. So how is that for you, like mentally? And I know because you're still a mom, you still have the every day-to-day life and still trying to build your clientele here. Like, how is that?
It's
like,
draining. I mean, that's the one way I can put it. Like, because, I mean, I think that my personality, I mean, it's a blessing because I do network. I will talk to any and everybody, and I like asking a lot of questions. So I do get to meet people, but it's not everybody that wants to find, you know, a Cajun chef to cook for, and people just don't know what you have to offer, and trying to find locations. That's probably the biggest thing. So yeah, I can go and host a cookie class, but where am I going to host it? I don't usually go into people's houses. I'm having to find people at coffee shops, people who have little church buildings and stuff like that.
Okay.
But trying to find out where your target market is when you've never, I mean, I never stepped foot in Georgia until we moved here.
Really?
We got an apartment sight unseen, which was the worst thing I
So
could have
it was
done.
literally just y'all had to move, and I'm gonna go, and we just gonna wow.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best blessings can come in that though.
The blessings come. Some of
Yeah.
them blessings I'm still waiting to see, but
God, like, where you at? Where you at?
yeah, just sometimes you're just like, is this the right move?
Yeah.
Because I go back and forth a lot of times where is this me talking or is this God talking? And I just never know because I jump at opportunities, but some of them just not right for me,
Right. Do you feel like this move, and because it was your husband's, really your husband's
It's always
move,
him. He always the reason why
he's
we
always
keep
the
on
reason?
doing
Do
all
you
these
think he
movements.
your business is overshadowed by your husband?
No, I really don't think so. It's just about figuring out for me, like, what I actually want to do because I've moved as far as career so many times. Like I started out teaching culinary arts.
Okay.
And from then, I got married right out of college.
Okay.
Started a family right out of college. And she was 6 months old when we moved to Arkansas in the middle of nowhere where people didn't really.
So is he military?
He's not military. AT&T keeps moving us.
I was about to say, wait, y'all moving Arkansas, Louisiana,
Oklahoma, Houston, Texas.
Wow.
Dallas, Texas.
How can you? Okay, so all right, so when in that industry, people, of course, they have to taste your food. They have to taste your food. They have to know that who you are in order to book you. But if you're consistently on the go, how do you build? Or where? I mean, do you feel like you're at a standstill with that? I mean, because
it's been word of mouth, a
Okay.
lot of it. And it will be something where I will hear somebody in a conversation and I join in people's conversations. If I hear somebody talking about food or questioning,
butt right on
I'm
in.
quick to being like, I'm a private chef. I'm quick
Listen.
to hand that card out
Listen.
because you have to put yourself out there.
Absolutely,
If
absolutely.
you don't, I really believe like people who don't network don't get where they need to go.
Right. What's up, ladies? It's your girl, Tammy Capri here, and we have some advertisement opportunities here on the Boss Mom Huddle. If you're looking to advertise your business with us on our podcast, on our Instagram, or on our website, make sure you go to www.thebossmomhuddle.com and learn how you can do so. I'll see you there. Right.
It's because of the people who I have met who have gotten me to where I am. Even when I first got here, we were at a school event where I'm like, let me volunteer at the school because this is the first place where I am only catering.
Okay.
We were in New Orleans because, like I said, I transformed into being an educator where I was teaching cooking to then just catering full time. But in the midst of that, we moved to New Orleans where they don't have culinary arts teachers. They don't have home ec programs. So I flipped the whole script and found some company that just needed somebody to write lesson plans. And mind you, it was STEM lesson plans.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about science. I know how to cook. I don't know nothing about science. But their whole mission was built on getting little brown girls into STEM. And that's what I knew I wanted to do, seeing that I'm raising 3 little brown girls.
Yeah.
So I was still catering, but I put my heart into this nonprofit. I started running a summer camp, and opportunity came from that. These parents were like, "Oh, I seen you cook too."
So that's how you.
That's
got
how
the
you get it.
clientele. So when you say that, you put your heart into the nonprofit. Where are we at now with that? Is it do you still want to do catering, or is catering more like a side thing for you now?
I am full-fledged in catering. I told
Okay.
my husband that once we moved to Atlanta, I was putting education fully to the side and I was going straight into catering. I remember going to a Bible study and this woman was like, 90% of people, they said that they wanted to do something. They go to school and pay all of this money to do something and none of them are doing it.
Right.
It was that pivotal moment that I said, you know what? I need to be cooking. Why am I sitting here doing all these other things? But for me, it's like, I was like one of those jack of all trades. I'm like, but I'm really good at
You good at
teaching.
this, I could
I'm
do-
really
yeah.
good at public speaking. But my heart, where
It
is
was
my
still in
heart?
cooking. So what does it look like for your business? Like, I know you say you've only been here for less than a year. Where are you at with it now? What does it look like? I know you're into networking and you will network, but have you booked any clients out here on a consistent basis?
I have a law firm that hires me as their vendor for all of these
dope.
events. I don't know, like it's nothing but God. they called me out of nowhere and was like, hey, we wanted to see if you were available. And I never want to ask people, well, how did you hear about me?
Yeah.
But I always want to know. So
it's good to know. So, I mean,
Yeah.
because you want to, more traffic may come through there. Maybe you need to target that area, like to look at anybody who recommends something. It's always good to ask that.
Yeah.
So don't ever like stop asking that.
It ended up being one of the senior partners at this law firm.
Nice.
That just seen my Instagram and is like, let's give her a shot.
Nice.
You know, and so cook for them once, they taste the food, and all of a sudden,
food will speak for itself.
Food speak for itself. They call me again. Let's do another event. And then I've been doing cookie decorating classes.
Okay.
So I got into it with like
person?
PTA. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'll go into schools or I'll do little birthday parties, go into people's houses where I'm literally just teaching them cookie decorating classes. I do a lot of girls' night outs.
Okay.
Where people just want to have a cool time. I call it cookies and cocktails. So they could drink and I bring the stuff to decorate cookies and we just have us a good time.
That sounds like something we need to do for the Boss Mom Huddle. We need to set something
absolutely.
up. We need to
This
really
logo
book
look
you to
really
do
good on
something.
some cookies.
Yes, it does. Speaking of being a boss mom, for one, moving around a lot, and I know when you started, you said your first baby was really young when you first started. So now you have three girls, right?
3 girls.
So how is the transition of moving around a lot, relocating, getting not only your business life set up, but now we gotta, acclimate these kids back into a new school system, a new area, making new friends. How is that for you and their adjustment?
It's rough. The older that they get, when they were younger, it really didn't mean much. They were just going to another home daycare and they really didn't have a clue what was going on. They weren't making friends yet. I think that our move from Dallas to New Orleans probably was the roughest transition just because my business was thriving. I had met so many people and it was a constant cooking and meeting people and making money because that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
We all had a hard transition moving to New Orleans. My husband thought it was going to be a great thing because I'm from there.
Yeah.
Nobody want to move back to where they from.
Where they from,
like,
right. You moved to get away.
Yeah, there was nothing besides the food, there's nothing that was like tying me to New Orleans.
Okay.
And the school system there is not that great. And so now we are having to pay for private school, trying to get them adjusted, and then also trying to feed New Orleans people New Orleans style food. So that's a whole nother ball game because I don't have that much competition.
Right.
Like you said, my food speaks for itself.
Right.
It speaks for itself in Dallas and in Houston and in Arkansas.
That's because we're not used to that.
You're not
like,
used to it. And so when you get it, you're like, this is amazing.
Right.
But there are talented people in New Orleans cooking
that's
that I'm now having
that's your roots.
That's where I learned
That's your roots. So
yeah.
it makes sense. So the transition, you say you were booming in Dallas. Do you regret the move, or have you ever find yourself feeling like a resentment toward your husband?
So I don't regret it because in some ways it just felt like God was pushing me. I got too comfortable.
Okay.
I got too comfortable. I was cooking for the same people. I was happy, but I was becoming complacent because I was not jumping for anything else.
Okay.
New Orleans definitely made me refocus, but God just kept on throwing opportunities and it just felt like I kept on running from them. We were packing up the truck to move to New Orleans, and out of nowhere, I get a call from some casting agent for the Food Network to be on a cookie show.
Nice.
I don't even like making cookies at this point in time.
And I
like
thought that's what you did at
crawfish.
first. I told you that, right? I was like, I
Yeah.
see a lot of cookies and
Because
they're dope.
it's easy to take a picture of a
Yeah,
cookie. It's so
yeah.
hard cooking and trying to get content at the same time. But they call me and they're like, hey, we seen your work on Instagram. Would you be interested on being a contestant on some show? Never in a million years did I think I would get that opportunity. But then they see some chick from New Orleans, I'm like, I could get on camera and be entertaining. My cookies might not be that great, but it just platformed.
Yeah.
And I mean, from there, I've been on Food Network twice now.
Nice.
I started working with this nonprofit.
So back up.
Yeah,
We're
it's just so
not
many-
going to jump over Food Network because that's major. A girl
Nah.
from New Orleans doing her own thing. You know what I'm saying? That is major to get onto the Food Network. So,
Yeah.
And they just stumbled up on your page.
They just stumbled upon my page. They
And
were
how
like,
was
would
that
you
process?
be interested in being on this cookie show? Have you seen it? I don't watch cooking channel shows. I just don't. No.
Why? So chefs don't watch, like, you're not obsessed with trying to, like, make different dishes, or how can I make a new dish, or to see what everybody else is doing?
No. My only competition is myself. I like cooking. I like going to restaurants, and I like figuring out what they did and what they cooked. But as far as the cooking shows, their food don't look that good to me.
No, it don't.
Like,
it
being
looks healthy.
honest.
A lot of it looks healthy, but I'm like, no, that's not
and
something
now that
I
I've
would.
been on TV, I know that it's not all what it's cracked up to be.
Right.
I know that they're pulling things out of, nowhere.
Right.
But yeah, I got to New Orleans. They flew me out to Tennessee. I was in Knoxville, Tennessee at some studio. Did a horrible job. And you could tell
Wait,
it all. Look.
Wait. Why you say you did a
Look.
horrible job? What?
All of these other people had been watching this show, had been practicing. I had not seen this show.
Oh, you was just winging it.
I was
I'm
just
going.
winging it.
But that was authentically you,
It was
though.
authentically me.
And you gonna find your audience that, hey, I like her. You know what I'm
Look,
saying? You're not faking a
No,
funk. It is
people
what it
reached
is.
out, and you could tell that I was more relatable.
Right.
I was so relatable that they called me back a year or two
There
later
you
to
see?
do it again.
There you go. And there you
I
go.
said, well, look, clearly they need
Wow.
some entertainment on this
Wow.
show. But the next time, I was a little
was a
bit
little
more
more prepared.
prepared.
Good, good.
I had watched the show a couple of times. I wasn't going there to lose twice.
But the first one wasn't an L.
It was an L.
It was a lesson. It wasn't a loss.
Look, I remember going to the bathroom and saying, Lord, just don't let me come in last place. Like, just don't let me be last place. And he came through. But this time, I remember I would be in the hotel room and I was making little vlogs. Not that I ever post them, but I was like, God, it's just you and me.
Yeah.
We're going out there. I don't know these people. They're not my competition. Let's just do.
Right.
You've given me this gift. This gift is in my hand. Let me show people what I got.
And that's all you need
That's
in that
all I
moment.
needed.
And like it flowed. I
Yeah.
mean, however it was going to be. But guess what? You still made it to the Food Network.
Yeah, I made
You
it, and
still
I
made
won.
it there. And you
So-
exactly.
so it was-
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
That is so inspiring because people think that there is a secret method to this whole success thing and to growing your business and to scaling, but it's not. It's a lot of stuff happened from the hard work that you put in from what you do, but then it's by chance. It's by chance. It's by word of mouth, and it's by that consistency.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I mean.
definitely is
So
consistency.
that is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So where are your how old are your children?
So they are 9, 11, and 13.
13, 9, and 11.
Yes.
All preteens.
All
How is that working
preteens.
out for you? Because
It's-
that's a lot.
It's just drama. It's just drama in the house.
Yeah.
And look, half the time I'm wondering if my husband about to walk out on all of us because
He said there's a lot of estrogen in
it's
it.
just a lot going
It's
on.
a lot.
And he make little comments every once in a while. We'll pass like a little league football team or something. He's like, well, guess I'm never going to experience this.
Ooh.
I'm like, well, guess you not.
So no more? You done?
I'm done.
What?
Nah, we're not doing that
No
anymore.
boy? You gotta try
they
for
don't
boy.
have it. Try for what? Motherhood is
For
not for
what?
the weak.
At
And I don't
all.
even know who decided to have kids, if you want me to be honest. Like, it's a lot.
It is. It is.
It's a lot trying to figure out, like, who you are as a person and then who you are as a wife. On top of that, now I have 3 people, like, looking at me. So I have to readjust constantly, making sure that I'm not saying the wrong thing because I don't have no
Right.
filter.
Right.
So I just be saying stuff. And now they starting to say it. But when they say it, it's bad.
You're responsible for these 3 little lives. And I remember, so back to your first daughter. Now you were just starting up getting into teaching
I
the
was
culinary.
just getting into teaching.
And you
I had
have
only
this-
been married about a year and a half.
This 6-month-old baby.
And I got a 6-month-old baby.
Right. So in just that pressure alone is like when my first son was born, and I knew I was writing books back then. I knew I wanted a publishing company, and I knew what I wanted to do. But just that pressure alone made me want to literally quit what I was doing and stay in the security of my 9-to-5.
Yeah.
Stay in the security of that. Like, literally, it's a lot of pressure. So when you say motherhood is not for the weak, and I know a lot of the mothers that's watching this can definitely relate because there is like that extra I have to do something. I have to make sure I provide, because it ain't always guaranteed that daddy's going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't always guaranteed that you're going to have that support system, but it ain't always guaranteed that we're going to be here.
Yeah.
But guess what? While I am, I got to make this happen, because guess what? I'm their mom.
Yeah.
And that's a scary feeling.
Yeah.
And then you had number 2 and you had number 3. And
I
now
just
they
kept
all
on going. Every state we moved in, it was like, oh, you bored, let's just go pop out another kid. And then I was like, what was I thinking? But you can't go back. I mean, they here now.
Yeah.
We were just crying together. We'd be in the car crying together. I'm like, you cry, I'm going to just cry too, because I don't know what to do at this point.
How was the parenting between you and your husband, though? Was he a supportive dad, like when you do need that relief?
Super supportive.
Okay.
But marriage on top of having kids is a whole nother ball game, especially when marriage is not like, these people who say they thrive in a marriage all the time, I think they lie. I mean, there's good parts, but there's a lot of bad parts that people just
but what is your
smooth
definition
over.
of thriving, though? What do you mean by thriving? When they portray that everything is perfect, or when they're actually...
Yeah, or when you're having a conversation and you can tell the conversation is not genuine because they're acting like everything is just going smooth sailing. The money is coming in, the kids are doing right, y'all are going on date nights, y'all are communicating. That's not, all of that don't fit at the same time.
You're
It
definitely
doesn't.
going to have real relationships, like you're going to go through some shit.
Yeah.
Right? You're definitely going to have
And
those
it
ups
wasn't
and downs.
until about year 9 that I liked him. I mean, it was
Girl,
rough.
I just made a post literally 5 o'clock this morning
7 year
about
itch,
that.
no, 8,
Yes.
9, I'm still...
Because it take, like, you're really trying to, first of all, still learning who you are. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I got the kids, and now it's like he's growing, and now we have to find out how our spirits are aligning at the
Yeah.
stages we are each year, because we're
Yeah.
not going to be the same year after year.
Yeah.
You know, and then am I stagnant, or are you growing and I'm not growing with you? Are we growing apart? And it's really hard, and it creates a communication barrier. It creates like just the expectancy of someone, the expectation of someone supposed to be there and know what I'm thinking, know what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like it is hard. But the way I see it when it comes to relationships is that I feel a couple is thriving if they're able to overcome those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it takes work to get to a point where we can understand each other. And if you know I'm having a bad day, give me my 5 minutes, but don't take offense to it.
Yeah.
You know, if I need to take the weekend away from you, because I like being away from my partner because it gives me a chance, for one, to miss him. And for two, is like we are around each other so much. I think that we miscommunicate a lot. Like I literally just made a post about communication and the whole relationship thing, because it's not easy. And you're right. It's a lot of people put it out there as if it's one perfect world.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
it
not.
does get easier, but it gets easier because you start learning, you start picking your battles. And honestly, for me, sometimes I just shut up because sometimes I just talk too much for no reason. And he'll say it. He'll be like, "It seems like you just want World War III." Because I just be picking fights. I'm like, because I need you to do something.
But see, he know you now, though.
He does
He
know
you,
me.
so he knows when to say, all right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
and
that's
he
good.
it's like the calm before the storm. You know, my aunt told me, you know, all the time, because I complain. I'm like, "Look, where did he come from? Like, I didn't ask for marriage. I didn't ask for these kids. I didn't ask for
You
none
ain't
of
asked
this.
for nothing. You ain't asked for Food Network.
No,
you
I
ain't
didn't ask for
nothing.
none of this, but it just
Yeah.
comes. And she said, because I can't sit still. But she says, in a relationship, one person is meant to be on the ground while the other person is flying. And sometimes he has to reel you back down to the ground, to reality. And that's the balance, and that's what works. Because he never, like, look, I told him last week, I think I want to go to flight school to become a pilot. And he said, go for it, you know? But you need somebody like that. I don't know
Yeah.
if he was serious or not. He going to see
Yeah.
when I show up. But
You was serious,
you
though.
need somebody like that
Yeah.
to just kind
It's
of ground
important.
you. So it definitely is a balance, but
It's important.
definitely, I mean, now we're getting to the point where you just have to be cognizant that people are these kids are watching
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
I always want to just make sure that I'm creating this foundation that I didn't have. I mean, I grew up with a single mom, and that was a whole different ball game. I
Yeah.
didn't, you know.
Yeah. It's it brings light to, how we don't want things to be hereditary. We don't want to bring how we are upbringing onto our children. And your daughters, the one thing that I'm sure they're taking away is, because I'm sure they'll see you guys go through ups and downs. They see you stress over your business. They'll probably see him stress over his things, like the things that go on in a normal household. But again, just to be able to grow through those barriers, they're going to learn commitment through that. You know what I mean? And especially if it's a healthy commitment, they're going to learn not to easily give up. They're going to see that you didn't easily give up on cooking because we jump from state to state and these barriers of rebuilding you face, but you still see it through. Yeah. And that's the whole point of, just life and just even this community, like just showing that, hey, everyone goes through a lot of the similar problems. We have a lot in common. We may not be in the same industry, but, we're all battling this thing called life, and we're all trying to find that way to make it, and that's just what it's all about, just showing that example. So I am glad that you came here to share your story, and that is so dope. What I do want to see you do is fly that plane, because now that you put it out there, I want to see you fly that plane, so I'm going to hold you to that now.
You
had some cookies on that plane, too.
Look, I like adventure. Yeah. So for me, another thing, I was in New Orleans when I was working for the nonprofit. Mm-hmm. Somehow, once again, people just hear you and you have no clue how. Mm-hmm. I got picked for some key influencer award where I was flying with the Navy Blue Angels. Nice. So I was sitting here in a jet just to fly, and my family thought I was crazy. But it's like you have to take whatever opportunities come to you. Absolutely. Because I never want to say well, what if, or just regret. Right. A lot of times my biggest regret is not doing something soon enough. Right.
So a lot of things are put into play or align with you, because that could be the vehicle to get you to where you need to be to become who you need to be.
And you never know who else is watching, and hopefully it will plummet somebody else.
Exactly. So what is your whole takeaway from just everything that you've been through, everything that you face, and everything for the things that you're not even sure what you're going to face? What is your whole takeaway or the biggest lesson from your experience from motherhood, growing a business, and being a wife? What is your whole takeaway?
I think my biggest takeaway is, everything is things are never going to be balanced. Yeah. But prioritizing things at certain times. Mm-hmm. Somebody told me, take everything off your plate, everything out of your basket, and only put things in it that you want back in. Just take everything out and think about the things that are important to you and the things that matter, and only put those things back in your basket. Mm. But the older I get, the more I'm like, it's okay to say no. And it's okay to follow your intuition if you don't feel like the situation is right. Mm-hmm. Like I am now at the point where I'm like, if it doesn't bring me peace, I don't care how much money it's offering. No. Right. If it's not bringing me peace, right, I'm not about to put myself in that situation.
Right. No, I totally agree. Especially at this big age, because ain't nobody got time for the stresses, and you feel like you got to please everybody, because you're not going to please everybody.
You're never going to please everybody. Mm-hmm. And the people who want to see you succeed, they're never going to be sitting here straining you or stressing you out. They're sitting here helping you. At all. So making sure that your circle is tight but loose in a way where you dropping people, because you drop people, pick people up. Mm-hmm. But you got to find those people who are there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I got to ask, is there another move down the line for you? Is Atlanta the last stop?
Atlanta's probably not the last stop. I think we probably got about 2 or 3 more stops in us.
Ooh, child, so you're going to be... Have you ever thought about something that's just a little bit more, online based? Maybe virtual cooking classes, or manufacturing anything?
So that right there is in the works. I'm at the beginning stages of trying to figure out how to sell gumbo base. Yes. So you got a whole bunch of people that don't know how to make gumbo, and they're not making it right.
Shoot, at all.
And so, I'm trying to figure out how to literally just make the base where you only have to add your protein to it. You add your protein in your rice and you're good to go.
Nice.
And I think that would be something good for me, because I do need something that I can take with me
you
and
can take
that,
with you.
you know.
And then I was just trying to think of some things that could help you just build the audience. So that way, no matter where you go, they're anticipating. I mean, it's not like you have to start from the ground up.
Look, if
know,
people could just keep flying me out, I'd be so grateful.
Fly her out. Fly her out. Like, what's your camera? Fly her out and hire her. And I can't wait. And because I'm going to book her myself, because I've never been to New Orleans. We're going to New Orleans in May.
Oh my gosh.
And I've never been, and I'm excited because I love seafood. Now, I've had seafood everywhere but New Orleans. And I'm excited to go. We're going there in May. But I am going to book you. I'm going to be one of your Atlanta
just
clients.
Come for a crawfish bowl.
And
I boil crawfish every Sunday because, look, I got to bring a little bit of New Orleans to Atlanta.
I know that's right. I know
But
that's
you
right. I
gotta
wish
eat
we
some-
could bring
have
some
you had
Philly to
crawfish?
Atlanta. I've had crawfish, but I haven't had Louisiana crawfish. I've had crawfish in Philly. I've had crawfish here in Atlanta,
in
but it
Philly.
tastes like crabs. Like it tastes like regular blue crabs. Like it just like the Old Bay seasoning. And so yeah. And
Nobody in New Orleans
first of
using
all,
Old
let
Bay.
me back up because I got a love-hate relationship with crawfish. The juices is good and everything, but it's a tease. Them little bitty tails. Anybody got time to be...
But you have to realize it's an experience. Just like going to New Orleans, everything is an experience. You're not really going just to get full. You're going to have a good time, talk with some people.
I don't want to eat and work. That is work doing
You're not
that.
even thinking about it because you're talking so much. It's not work, it's love.
It is work. I don't got that.
It's love.
I be watching people eating them crawfish. They just...
That's why you got the potatoes and the sausage and the corn to get
spread
full
it
off
out.
of,
Okay,
because
so
the
you gonna
crawfish will
teach
never look.
You gonna teach
If you
me.
want the best crawfish,
Yes.
just come over to my house.
I'm coming, and I'm coming. I am coming. I'm coming. Thank you. Well, I enjoyed our conversation, and what I want to do right now, if you're watching this, and if you are in the Atlanta area or anywhere, because you know Miss Thang, she will hop on a plane if you fly her out. Make sure you tap in with her. Can you tell everybody what your social media is?
Yes, Bryoni Catering and BryoniCatering.com.
Bryoni Catering, and spell that.
BryoniCatering.
And we are going to put it on the bottom of the screen so people can tap in with you. So just tap in with her.